Just your cage comes off. What's under the cover? It's an Urban GS. No, it's not. It's an R12 GS. Just like that, baby. Woo! And it's centre as well. Hello, welcome back to the channel. We have an exclusive, very, very exciting. This is the first R12 GS outside of the world of BMW, not even in the dealers. It is here in PCC Custom and we are buzzing. It's a new member of the family and it has not disappointed us.
So this has been touted around for a very long time. It's the actual genuine off-road version of the R90, R12 families. It's got a 21-inch front wheel. We've had spy shots around for years. We thought this was going to come with the Gen 3 R90s. It didn't, and now it's finally here. So I'm going to hop on it and tell you how I feel about it now. Okay, so I wanted to hop onto the bike because I think it's actually one of the most important places for me to talk to you from. I haven't hopped on a bike for a little while now. I had an accident to answer all the questions that I know I'm going to get in the next few months. I split the shin, cracked my ankle off, and my foot fell out. But we're on the mend now, a few months, it'll be fine. And then I'll be back on one of these. So the importance of sitting here in the cockpit is really just to show you how much bigger and how much more purposeful it feels as a GS. So it's, the obvious comparison here is the Urban GS versus the R12 GS. And the Urban GS for me was a road bike with very cool off-road styling, but it was certainly still like the BMW R90 Scrambler, where it just felt like a road bike that had got the right look for the retro sort of old school vibes. This is very, very definitely much closer to something like the R12 GS. It's much bigger, much wider, much more comfortable. You've got all of the mod-cons that you want up here in the cockpit. So you've got the USB charger, you've got the point, DIN socket. It just feels like something that is designed to go and do all of the Gelanderstrasse stuff, which is just going off on tour, but also you can jump on it and it looks fantastic, pop into the shops too. It's going to be a brilliant bike for shooting around town, but more so for that tour work. It feels incredibly comfortable. Speaking of comfort, the seat is ever so slightly taller than the Urban GS as standard. By the time you've added the 18-inch onto the rear with the Enduro pack, that bumps up another inch, which is about 25 mil. And then you can go another 25 mil if you add the rally seat. So really, you've got a much more purposeful, hard, sat over the top Enduro bike, much more in lines with things like the Yamaha Tenere or something like the Africa Twin. I cannot wait to get out on this bike. It's already ticked all of the boxes for me. We used to have an old bike at the dealership I used to work at that I fell in love with, and this is the first time for a very long time I've sat on a Boxer twin bike and have felt that love straight away. So as soon as my leg's out the cage, I'm going to be shooting off on it, but for now I'm going to hand over to Stu, who's going to tell you a little bit more about the tech talk.
Time for some techie bits, and we're also going to talk about some little custom bits that we'd like to do to this, and obviously some full factory custom work that we're going to do. Okay, Rory's done his leggy cage bit around the other side. So 21-inch front wheel. This is an off-road capable machine built from the ground up for that purpose, but it is still your full factory mile munching tour machine, which when you've got some luggage on is going to feel beautiful, and you're really going to be able to do that cross-country European trip in comfort. So very quickly, I'm just going to talk about the spec of this bike. I'm not going to go into doing spec sheets and all that sort of stuff, but this bike has got a package on it, and I'm just going to discuss that. This has the Enduro package on it that comes with an extra function on the dash, which is Enduro Pro. So you then have a fourth function when you go through the dash for the buttons on the right-hand switch gear. It comes with the 18-inch rear wheel, an extended side stand, and some full factory, very chunky off-road foot pegs with a very, very cool adjustable brake lever on the right-hand side, which allows for sort of like adjustability when you're up out of the saddle or when you're sitting down doing that mile munching cruising. So that's the techie specky bit. I'm now going to talk about some custom work that Rory and I would like to do today. It's going to be a modification of two parts. It's going to be heavy on the rear end and heavy on the front end. Front end wise is going to be a little bit more bespoke, custom, crazy idea, but rear end wise is going to be some factory styled modifications. So starting at the middle and working towards the back. To protect your assets, obviously one of the first things that we would think to do is just put some engine bars on, because likewise, although it is a mile muncher and a touring bike, it is off-road capable. So if you do take it off-road, you want some engine bars on there to make sure that it's going to be protected. The other quick win is if you want to take the passenger pegs off and you want to stick like a rally seat on there and a rack and really just hit the road, there will be a removable foot peg kit for this, which removes that and then keeps the exhaust mount in the same position. One of the biggest mods that we're going to aim to do is something that we did very, very successfully on the R1290, and that is our in-house tail tidy. We worked with Valkyrie to develop our tail tidy for the R1290, and it came out fantastic and looked full factory. There's a lot of people at our open day that thought it was a factory part, where actually it is ours and it's on the website. So we are going to develop this to then narrow it down and then have a high level enduro style plate. So all you have is the light and some indicators here. That is what we're going to work with Valkyrie to develop. That will be coming to the website in the near future. All right, a little bit of a romantic bit here. It's just the little bits that I like there's these little air vents here that go around the front mud guard to channel air into the oil cooler. And then you've then got the rear of the mud guard that's been perforated there that allows the air to go through. Man, it's just so factory, I love it. So factory. Anyway, before I get all whimsical about that, front end, I mentioned that we're gonna be a modification of two parts. I've spoken about the rear end, and the front end is going to be the bit where it's going to be a little bit more crazy. So Rory and I have been wanting to do a real full factory Dakar style build for a very, very long time, but we've never had a bike that it's felt appropriate to do. We tried to do it a little bit with Badger on the R90 GS platform, Urban GS platform, but it never really worked. It felt like you were trying to put a square peg in a round hole. But with this bike, because of its proportions and because of its geometry, a real nice, tall Dakar-style tower with a road book and just giving it that full factory dominance is something that we would love to do in the future. So that's definitely got our Dakar juices flowing in regards to modifications to the front end on this bike. So outside of those modifications that I mentioned, Rory and I think that BMW have absolutely nailed the styling out of the box. There's nothing crazy mad that we're going to do. We just love it. It's beautiful as it is, and we're going to do our little bit, and that's how it should stay. So Rory's gone upstairs to take his cage off and chill out, do whatever he needs to do with his leg, and that's it. That's our thoughts, that's our walk around, and that's what we think of the R12 GS, and we hope you enjoyed that. And as my Uncle Basil used to say, a pair of slippers and a dressing gown doesn't make a dinner suit. Thank you very much for watching.